Welcome to the Sentimental Twist,
where two generations share one love for meaningful spaces and gracious hospitality.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Melissa.
Let's gather around and talk home, hosting, and all things sentimental.
Can you believe this is season 2?
We're back.
We're back.
Feels like forever
I
since
know.
I've been around, and we've missed our weekly chats with you, with each other, and with y'all that are listening.
Absolutely. Not only Brittany and I missed each other, but we've gotten so many kind messages from people that are saying, when are y'all coming back? We miss listening to the podcast. So let's kick it off with, I'm Melissa, and you can find me at Home with a Twist on Instagram. homewithatwist.com is my website, and Home with a Twist on YouTube.
All right. And I'm Brittany. I'm at Brittany Shepherd on Instagram, thesentimentaldecorator.com, and my YouTube is Brittany Shepherd TSD. I still haven't posted anything other than podcast episodes, but I'm getting ready to try to figure out what I'm going to do there.
Okay. Well, we'll look forward to that journey. And then everybody can find us on the Sentimental Twist podcast on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And if you ever want to send us an email, in response to something we talk about, or you want to share an idea or thought, or you have a question, we love reader submissions, you can email us at thesentimentaltwistpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, please send us. We have some fun listener submissions that we're going to read today.
Yes.
So much fun.
Okay, so this is our fun segment, Bless It, I Had to Share It. And this is where we catch up. We're going to catch you up on things that we've been doing since we wrapped season 1. And then we're going to share our new favorite things for fall. Okay, do you want to start or you want me to start?
You go first.
Okay, so I finished the summer in Maine. We were there from August 2nd until the end of August. And then I went and did a 3-week little project. I'm calling it a project in Canada that I can't share yet what it was, but it'll be something really fun that we can look forward to for the spring. So It was beautiful, kind of dipped my toe a little bit in fall in the area of Canada where I was. But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy. I've finally got my porch turned around for fall, and I'm going to try to tackle decorating for fall this week, which I know I'm behind because you've already done all that.
I have, but I'm ahead, and because I'm about to start switching gears to Christmas because of the Christmas tour of homes. It's not until December 7th, and my house is on the tour, but I want to get a head start so I feel like I'm prepared.
Yeah, maybe you just skipped decorating for fall.
I have a few things out. I never really go all out. We can talk about fall in a minute, but I never really go all out for it. But I put little pumpkins here and there. It's mainly the scents and the food and the things that I love most about fall.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about scents in the podcast today. Okay, so my fun thing that I wanted to share with everybody is
Ayla.
The Life of a Showgirl, y'all. I got it, and I have to say, I am not a Swiftie. I mean, we listened to Taylor Swift when Phoebe was little, and that was back when Taylor was more country. And wore cute little boots and short skirts and, played her guitar. So definitely her music has evolved. And I really enjoyed her movie that came out, I guess, a couple of years ago. Or when she did her Eras tour. Maybe that was a year ago. And I really got a huge appreciation for how she's grown as an artist. And, I just think, it's so hard for women in any industry, but she's really maintained some great ethos about herself. But I wanted to show that I actually bought 2 different albums. I bought this one, which is pink. So
Cute.
cool. And then the orange one is coming. Mainly because this one skips.
Oh.
And I don't know. I've wiped it down. I don't know what in the world is causing it to skip. That was kind of a disappointment. I threw myself a Taylor Swift party of one. It's on my Instagram. I stood in line for an hour with a friend at a bakery in Flower Mound called The Hive Bakery. And they had Taylor Swift cookies that had like her picture from her album on the cover, cake pops, all kinds of fun things. And so it was fun to support a
Cute.
woman owned business. And then it comes with a poster and all the song lyrics. So that was what I did
Yep.
on Friday is I just sat in my ladies lounge, which is where I'm coming to you from
Especially
today,
on. Okay.
and listened to my Taylor Swift new Life of a Showgirl. So that's my blessed I had to share it.
Well,
What's yours?
that's
What's yours,
awesome.
Brittany?
Well, let me catch you up. I mean, I haven't been doing much but real school life work,
I know.
nothing really amazing except for my little candle launch went really well earlier in September. We sold out in a couple of days.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it was so fun, and I wanna do it again, so I hope Laura from the Bushel and Peck will be on board with that because
Yeah.
it was such a good time, and, we had some really pretty candles, and a lot of y'all got them, and so thank you so much for doing that. It really made my day to know that y'all wanted them, and the scent is just so good. So
And
good.
what sold out first?
The sort of the medium-sized ones, they were all the same fragrance, but they were just different vintage glass vessels, and so we had small, medium, and a couple of, like, large showstoppers that were a little higher priced, and some local people bought those.
And did you name the fragrance?
Yes, it's called Story Keepers.
Story Keepers. I
Mhm, or
love
Story Keeper.
that.
Mhm.
And what's the scent in it?
It's gardenia and sandalwood with just a hint of vanilla. Just a little bit of vanilla,
Mm.
not like sweet vanilla, more like the essence of vanilla, but it has a sweetness to it, but it's floral yet earthy. I don't know, it's just really good. It's a good year-round fragrance to me. I always like candles that have a little sandalwood mixed in, and so it turned out really good. So it was fun.
So proud of you. That's
Yeah, had a good
fantastic.
time.
Yeah.
And I'm already prepping for Christmas, like I said, because of the Christmas tour of homes. I'm doing some very early decorating just because I want to be prepared. But, life and family and events and activities and school and all the things we did. I did wrap up that week, that couple of weeks for my Story Keepers Sentimental Style
Yes.
Starter
How
Kit
was that?
walkthrough. It was so great. It was so wonderful. And then the ladies that joined me in the walkthrough, we met weekly and we just got back together again because we were like, this is so fun. We want to do it again. And so we got back together and people sent pictures and showed some progress of the things that they've been styling. And we talked about different ideas and giving each other advice. It just turned out to be this precious little community. And I love them. They're precious. They're so
Is it
sweet to
something
me.
that you'll do again?
I hope so. I've kind of been thinking about some interesting ways to do more of that community minded stuff to be together and virtually, to walk through story keeping and styling and honoring our heirlooms and the stories that come from them and heirloom worthy items, not just things that you inherited, but things you love that you want to pass down to future generations. And so I don't know, I got some thought bubbles happening here and there to try to figure out something.
So can people still purchase the kit on your website?
Yes, the kit is there. I think that I am probably going to start retiring it at the end of the year because I want to make it a little more comprehensive and community driven. And so, yeah, it's still available.
Well,
But I don't know for how long.
tell everybody about it because they may not have heard
The
when you
spiel.
announced it in one of the episodes last season.
Yeah, it's the Sentimental Style Starter Kit, and so there's 3 parts of it, and it's all about gathering the meaning in your home and keeping those stories of the things that you've been given or hand-me-downs or things you've collected that you love, like capturing their stories and taking an heirloom inventory. And then the second part is really the meat, the styling those things, ideas, sort of my tips and tricks for incorporating those meaningful items into your home. And then the last part is about making it a ritual because rituals are such a part of my life. And typically on Sunday afternoons, I set aside time to putter around the house and restyle some things. And it's kind of funny because this feeds into what we're going to talk about next, but like rotate in some of those meaningful things that, that yeah, I want to see and use, but may not fit all the time and every day. But yeah, so it's a really fun, um, way to see your things and rotate your things in and out if you make decorating a ritual as opposed to a project. And so That's
When they
sort of
made the purchase, they got, like, to download different worksheets and
yes,
all
it's
kinds
like a
of things.
60-page ebook with worksheets.
Wow, wow, and then they were part of a private community on your Instagram.
Yeah, I
So
just
is
did that
that
the
still
one
gonna
time.
be active, or will they just get the kit?
They'll just at the kit at this point, but that's kind of where I'm thinking about for the new year to figure out some sort of community-minded component that
Right.
allows us to meet periodically and regularly and do some of these things together. So we'll see what that unfolds
And
to. I don't know.
can
I'm still thinking.
how can listeners get the kit if they wanna go ahead and get it before it retires?
Yeah, they can go to the sentimentaldecorator.com and on the heading at the top there's a button that says the Sentimental Style Starter Kit and that'll
Okay,
take you to
perfect.
the info
Good.
page.
Okay, I love
But
that.
my blessed you know what? I didn't really think through my blessed I had to share it item, so I'm gonna share the recipe that I shared in my stories recently that my mom it's not really a recipe, that my mom put out every year during the month of October. It's a snack mix, and if you'll give me a minute, I will get the trifle dish.
Oh, while you're gone to do that, I'm gonna go get what we're gonna talk about next.
Okay.
Okay, so they could just look at a blank screen for a
Yep.
minute. Okay,
It's blank
alright.
space, baby. We'll write your name.
Okay. I'm in my dish pantry right now, everybody. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Yep, so right behind me, so while Brittany's gone, right behind me is my dish pantry. So I went to go get what we're going to talk about, and here she comes. This is one of my favorite things. I'm going to be sharing how to make this on my blog, on my Instagram this week,
Ooh.
because I just love it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so here's mine.
Look at that. Is that a Southern Living trifle
I
dish?
think it is. It
Yeah,
was Mama's. It has the lid.
yeah. Didn't she used to sell it, or you sold it?
I sold it for a
I
little
did
bit.
too, and I think I have well, you know what? I do have that. I had put bath soap in it, like bars of soap in the bathroom, I guess bath, but I need to get it out. That is a huge quantity of snack mix.
It's a problem because I live by myself.
Now, well, tell everybody how you made it.
Super simple. It's not really even a recipe. And you can tweak it and adjust it. When I posted, people were sharing how they were kind of adjusting it. But it's roasted salted peanuts, candy corn, and candy pumpkins just mixed together in the bowl. And she always kept it in this trifle dish with a little serving spoon in
Of
it.
course she did. Of
And
course
so
she
you just,
did.
we're just all the time dipping it out. But some people replied to my stories when I shared it that they thought, just mixed nuts would be really good in it. If
No,
you
I'm sorry. No,
no,
I'm gonna put a stop to that. No, this is just everybody
it's
it
a
tastes like
payday in a bowl,
yes, it's a
basically.
payday in a bowl, and paydays did not have pecans. So I'm sorry
That's
if
a
you're
good
gonna
point.
have some of your fans are gonna hear this and then they're not gonna like me anymore. But no, mixed nuts, You can't
And
have a
then,
Brazil nut and candy corn in one bite. That's just not
oh
gonna
yeah,
yeah.
Brazil nuts are kind of yeah. I don't think that
Ugh.
would be the right
Yeah,
fit.
and they only put 1 Brazil nut in every can, it seems. If you're really interested in Brazil
That's
nuts,
true.
you need to find another source of nut.
Source, but other like salty items, pretzels, bugles. If you wanted to have a little more salty in there.
Bugles. I haven't had do they still make those?
Yes, they make bugles, and they have. Okay, this is my guilty pleasure. We have a really fun vending machine at work that looks like a little grocery store kind of situation, and you self checkout, and they have Hidden Valley Ranch bugles, and they're delicious. So,
You know what I just thought of would be a really good bugle flavor would be a churro bugle.
mm,
I would
I
eat
want to say,
those.
do they have a cinnamon
I don't know, but can
sugar
you
one?
find it?
I'll look and see if they do.
I had when I was in Canada, I had the best flavored chips.
Mm.
They were called all dressed.
Oh yes, that's their like Lay's big
Yeah,
ruffle. It's a ruffle.
that it and you can get it here, but it's not the same.
Mm.
I haven't seen it, but I know from a friend that
Mm.
she found a bag and here in the States and it was not as good.
Not as
And
good.
I don't know what's in it, but man, they were good. And they also have a ketchup variety, which tastes just like a French fry.
Oh,
So
okay.
Trader Joe's for the fall has a limited edition ketchup flavored chip.
Hmm.
So anyway,
Fun.
back to bugles. I'm gonna have to get some bugles and put it in there.
So we're moving on to our next segment for the week, which is my favorite. It's my jam, sentimental decorating and meaningful spaces. So we're going to talk today about heirloom autumn glow and layering our heirlooms and sentimental pieces into our seasonal home and how we do that. And, these treasured items can be a foundation for your seasonal decor, whether they're fall specific or not. I have a few fall specific things, but then I like to just bring in the colors and the different things of heirlooms and hand-me-downs and gifts that I've been given into fall entertaining and decorating. So I love the idea of using one or two heirloom pieces or more, because typically my whole table is a little bit heirloom in a way, into your fall gatherings and into your everyday living during the season. For me, I recently posted my Sentimental Sundays post about this tray that was my mom's, and it's really a decorative tray. It's not a serving tray. Oh, you got it pulled up.
Yeah, because this picture really inspires me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm so
talk
glad.
about the tray, and then I'm gonna tell you what inspires me.
Okay. So that tray my mom has had as long as I can remember. And since it has the autumn leaves on it, she only pulled it out during the fall and Thanksgiving season.
Mhm.
And so it says, "Good friends gather here." And she had a little plate rack thing in the kitchen that she put it on. Well, I put it on an easel in the corner on the counter, kind of where I do a kitchen vignette and where my fruits and vegetables live and herbs if I have herbs potted. But I just love it because it reminds me of how it presided over all of those family gatherings for the fall season. And now it's doing the same in my home for that time. And so it's just really special. And, I'm not a big person for like words on signage and things in homes, but this one is special to me because it is meaningful. It has a place from my history. So that's just one example of how I bring in something that's hand me down heirloom into my fall decor.
Well, what I loved about your post today is that you brought in so many different sentimental things, like the little copper container. I guess it's a sugar bowl, maybe?
I think that's a coal scuttle.
Okay, and you're using it as a candle holder.
I love that.
And I'm assuming that's apple orchard?
Yes,
Okay,
this
you
is
used it
Franciscan apple.
as your saucer for your maidenhair fern,
Mhm.
and you've got a stack of books, and then
Mhm.
your apples or maybe that's purple onions.
There's purple onions and
It's
sweet
just
potatoes,
and
I
you've
think,
got
on
your
doing it right now.
seasonal dish soap and lotion and stuff, and
Yeah,
I just love it. It's just so it's so quietly fall without being like it doesn't look like you just went to Home Goods and just bought all the fall thing.
threw a
That's
bunch of
one of my
pumpkins up
pet
there.
peeves is going into people's homes, I don't I don't wanna judge and say that I don't like it, but I just sometimes you just go into people's homes and it just looks like all they did was just shove stuff into their basket from Home Goods. If it
Mhm.
makes them happy, that's fantastic, but to me, something like what you did, where it was in your mom's kitchen,
Mhm.
less is more sometimes,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's my little corner of the kitchen that I always sort of switch out for the seasons.
Yeah.
And like I'll change the tray out at Christmas and it'll be something seasonal for Christmas. I always, my little living sentimental glow formula that I use.
Mhm.
So I've got the maidenhair and I've got the candle and then the tray is sentimental. But I kind of do that for the seasons and for every day. Like I have a blue and white platter that I'll put there when it's not seasonal specific. That was my grandmother's. So yeah, that's just one easy way. And then everyday living stuff, that's everyday living. Entertaining, of course, I use my grandmother's Johnson Brothers Friendly Village because that's what she used at Thanksgiving all the time. I love to use the Johnson Brothers sugar and creamer as my salt. The sugar, I put my salt that I use at the kitchen, at the stove. Sorry, I can't talk. At the stove in my utility tray by the stove, I put the kosher salt there, and then I have the creamer where I put my tasting spoons in. And
It's alright.
my
They
dog just
live with
coughed.
us too, they make sounds, it's okay.
But that's just a little everyday thing. I want to use those things, and I'm not necessarily serving sugar and creamer in them all the time. So it's a little way to bring them into the season on my utility tray that I have sitting by the stove. And I love to rotate my dishes. Like I bring all the fall seasonal dishes down to the everyday level and swap them out so that when I serve myself in the evenings, it's on a fall, autumn looking dish, or I use my grandmother's amber Whitehall prism glasses that look like Fostoria, but they're that amber color,
Yeah.
as my everyday glassware during
I
the
guess I don't know what
autumn
those
months.
look like.
Well,
You wanna
you
go
want me to go
get
get
one?
one?
Yeah, go grab it, and I'll tell a joke while you're gone.
Well, you can talk about more of our seasonal.
Okay, so I'm gonna challenge everybody, um, to when you're decorating this fall, I don't want you to think that I'm dissing on places like Home Goods and the Home at Home and all that, because I think you can find some really fun things and unique things there. But I really think if we could try to save our money and just use what we already have in different ways, that would be how I would challenge people for the fall and for Christmas. Oh, yes. Okay. I have those in kind of a light blue, but I
Mm.
love that color.
So these were her every day. We use this color at her house every day, but I bring it around for the fall because I have the clear ones from my other grandmother that I use as my everyday. So,
Okay. I love that. Well, and I have my show and tell.
oh yeah.
Um, Brittany and I share the same love of Friendly Village.
Hmm. I
My
love it so much.
grandmother and my mother both collected it. So when they both passed away, well, I got my mother got all my grandmother's, which was her mother-in-law. And then at some point, I think my mother just, wasn't entertaining as much and she was
Hmm.
downsizing. So she and my dad gave me the rest of all of their, I have all the Friendly
I love it.
Village. And when we were growing up, my parents had a small little weekend farm that we would go to get away, and we'd host Thanksgivings there. And I remember my job was to set the table, and I just remember always looking at these plates, and the dinner plates have different scenes on them,
Hmm.
and I would imagine what the people were like that lived there, their lives. And so that is just an example of what Johnson Brother looks like on the
Hmm.
on the plate. But like for example, how Brittany said she takes her sugar bowl and puts her salt in it.
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna put a candle down in here,
Oh, that's a good idea. Hmm.
and maybe put some like if it's a candle that's innovative, and
Oh
then
yeah.
some moss or coffee beans or something around
Mm.
or acorns.
Oh, that's a good
And,
idea.
and
Yeah.
use this, or you could use these in your bathroom for guests and just have a bar
Hmm.
of soap, butterscotch,
Q-tips, makeup
Q-tips,
pads.
butterscotch discs for people,
Yeah.
it's very, like, grandmotherly.
Mm.
So this little scene is, the bridge. So Johnson Brothers is pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
So if that's something you kinda maybe wanted to start collecting, you get a few pieces. The other thing I still love to do is old family photos.
Hmm.
And I even like to buy old family photos of people that weren't my family.
Hmm.
I have one that is I bought from my friend Jackie. She's Fort Worth the Wait on Instagram. She used to have a booth.
Cute.
And it's just this older gentleman sledding with this young boy. And I don't know if they were related. I just call him Uncle Joe. And it's in a frame and I just love it. And I'm like, I don't know who this person is, but he brings me joy. So I just love old family photos in like a brass dish, or you could take the Johnson Brothers platter and have it on the coffee table and just pile a bunch of Polaroids in there, and just
Hmm.
people can just look through that. I love things that tell a story, and especially when you have company over and they can just be like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?"
Hmm.
Just helps keep conversation going.
Yeah. It's my MO to be like, "Oh, that was my grandmother's. Oh, that was my mom's."
Right, I know, it's meaningful, and it shares who we are, so
Hmm.
those are my 2 contributions to that.
Yeah. I just love the idea of incorporating those things into the seasonal decor and everyday, usage because they're otherwise they just stay in boxes or in closets. And what a shame because they're beautiful and they were loved, and you have the opportunity to give them new life in your home, even if they are adopted from the thrift store, and so using them, displaying them to bring in the season in a sentimental way. And it's not about perfection. We talk about this all the time. It's more about weaving your story, your family into your home, into your life, into your gatherings. And I just think it makes it all the more special and memorable for your guests and family members who are joining you. So,
Yeah, and I'm a big thing about less is more, you know?
mhm.
Um, you just want your home to be a place of calm, and if there's just a whole lot going on and you just again, whatever brings you joy is what you should do.
Mhm.
But if you're in a place in your life, maybe you're downsizing or your finances have changed, don't feel like that your home is not going to be welcoming if it's not decked out
Right.
to the nines. Just pull out some pieces that belong to you as a young woman or belong to your family members and have those be the star. And then just
Mhm.
everything else is just about making people feel welcome in your home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Love it. And
Okay.
share with us. Let's ask them to share with us any ways that they use any sentimental or heirloom pieces in their
Absolutely. So,
seasonal decor.
email us at the Sentimental Twist Podcast at
Mhm.
gmail.com. Tell us how you weave sentimental items into your decorating. Maybe what are some things that you're wanting to try to start finding or collecting? Just tell us what is in your closet that brings you joy and you love to get it out every year for this time of the year because we're going to spend the next 10 episodes talking about fall holiday
Mhm.
decorating, entertaining, hosting, recipes, and helping y'all get ready and excited for the months ahead.
Yep. Favorite time of year.
Okay, so let's move on to memories and nostalgia about fall scents. And I
Mhm.
found an article um that's really interesting because what makes you instantly think of fall? And it's not just about what we like to smell, it's rooted into our memories. And so this article is from WHYY, and we'll put it at a link in our show notes. But what's interesting after I read this article is that I'm just going to kind of quote different pieces of the article. The title was about why we love the way autumn smells, and it's not about pumpkin spice.
Mhm.
So it's remembering the part of the equation that explains the appeal, that brisk, crisp, slightly sharp smell we associate with autumn. Here's is something interesting, is not actually the smell of leaves, trees, like what we think. It's
Mhm.
actually the smell of leaves, trees, and plants dying and
Yeah.
rotting is what when we go outside and we're like, oh my gosh, it smells like autumn.
Mhm.
That's actually decomposing leaves
Mhm.
that are giving us that scent, and I didn't realize that. I just thought it was like the smell of the air or like
Mhm.
the breeze rifling through the trees. So, the memories that we associate with the change of seasons are what makes it pleasurable even when many of these are causing people to have be allergic to moldy leaves and burning wood. I'm actually having trouble with my allergies. I always do in October. I don't know what it is in
Mm.
the air. So as leaves change from green and now they're changing color, they give off odors and different gases. And that can be very evocative for us because it's become associated with a period of time that is somewhat pleasant transition for most people. So when we think of fall scents, we think of what?
Well, the smell of the air, the leaves, bonfires, pumpkin
Spice,
spice, apples, and,
apples.
I've talked about this, fresh turned peanut dirt for
See?
me.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, like, for my husband, when he was growing up as a small boy, his parents were English, and so the mom would take him to England to live for long periods of time until he started school, and his grandfather would always burn leaves. So anytime he smells that, he says it just takes him back to his
Mhm.
childhood. I mean, it could be even something like the smell of Play-Doh. Remember
Oh,
Play-Doh? The
yeah.
smell of Play-Doh? I mean, it reminds you of or glue when you were in elementary school.
Even
Uh,
Crayola crayons have a very distinct smell.
absolutely. So, this particular person that wrote this article is like, I don't know what she calls herself, but like she's a chemist and has a
Hmm,
professional nose for smelling things.
hmm.
And she said that many of the fall scents that appear in fragrance products or envelop customers as they walk into stores aren't related to fall foliage at all. They're more associated with activities that take place in
Mhm.
autumn, like hayride,
Cooking, baking, hey oh,
baking
yeah, mhm.
pies, you know? And she said that's as a professional nose or scent designer, she said people often ask her to recreate the scent of babies and puppies, and that they don't have molecules to to create that smell of those different periods of life. So I just thought that was so fascinating, and that the smell of fall for where you are in Alabama and where I
Mhm.
am for in Texas, or where people might be in California or Maine, in one place means something completely different in another,
Yeah.
depending on the trees, the ground, the air, and the natural vegetation.
Mhm.
So every place in the world has its own branded scent identity. Like you wonder in Australia, because they're the opposite seasons
Yep.
from us, right?
It's winter well, it's spring now.
Yeah, so they're
Yep.
not going to be evocative of pumpkin spice
Mhm.
like we are right now here at home. So
Crazy.
the author said she grew up near the seashore where the fall smells completely different, more of a marshy, swampy aroma than
Mm.
you would in the mainland. It doesn't smell anything like it would in a forest or a city like Philadelphia. So I just thought it was such an interesting article. And she went on to say that snow definitely has a smell, and it
Oh, yeah.
smells different in the world wherever you are. It's on water that makes up the snow is different. So winter, she said, is remarkable for its lack of olfactory triggers.
Hmm.
Like you don't really smell snow.
Well, I rarely am around snow to smell it, so
And we love this. I love the feel. I love the sound of snow because
Mhm.
it's so quiet. But it's always interesting how when we go into a candle store, they'll have a winter line, and it'll be winter snowfall.
Yeah.
Like
You don't know what that smells
and
like.
have a smell. So anyway, it's all about marketing, but it's also about evoking memories. It's all of
Mhm.
what we remember growing up. Um, and so, what were some things that you remember growing up with scent?
I definitely obviously, the peanut season, just that fresh turned peanut dirt is very nostalgic. It's happening right now here in our area, and my best friend lives near some peanut fields, and our buddy is a farmer, and he was like, "Brittany, if you want your smell, you need to go to Anna's house this week because 'cause we're turning up the peanuts," you know? So,
Ooh, so we'd be going
um
out there.
oh, of course. And then, bonfires, I think it's because that's something we do during this time of year. We gather around a bonfire and we roast marshmallows and then of course the baking smells, pumpkin, apple crisp, those kinds of things always trigger my fall memories. There's a pumpkin bread recipe that I will probably share in my newsletter for subscribers in the next couple of weeks that when it's baking in my house, it's just like, go back in time.
Well, they
So,
always, you always hear that if you're trying to sell your house and you're having an open house, you need to
bake
bake
cookies.
something. Have some pumpkin bread if it's this time of the year and you're trying to sell your house, do some pumpkin bread. When I went to the bakery for the Taylor Swift goodies, one of the things that Taylor Swift makes are those chai cookies,
Mm,
and I'd never had one
I
before.
love chai.
And it's a sugar cookie, then it has chai frosting on it. And I had a little bit of some of it
Mm,
left. And when Phoebe was here yesterday with her boyfriend, he particularly liked it. And he said, "This smells like Christmas. This
yeah.
tastes like Christmas." He said,
Chai spice is reminiscent of fall and Christmas, but for me,
yes.
because I lived in India, it's every day.
Okay. So he
Mhm.
said, if Christmas could be in a cookie, it would be this.
Mhm.
And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so cute. And now I know that he likes that.
Yeah.
So now that could be something I could make for him. He's really
Mhm.
precious. I just love him. I'm so happy that they're together and that they have such
That's
a
good.
great life together. Okay, so that's about scents. I guess my
Mm.
favorite
Oh,
scent
yeah,
is
yours.
going to a tree lot.
Mm.
As I love this, we always do an artificial tree, but I love the smell of Fraser fir
Yes. When you were in Canada, I don't know what part of Canada you were in, but, I was there this time last year,
and
and we
Banff.
were on in Banff, and on the train, we stood out on the platform and just breathe in that evergreen. It smelled like Christmas, just in Banff in Canada because the evergreens were everywhere. So
Yeah, I know in the
there's
summers when we used to go to Red River, New Mexico, the minute you got out of the car and you just took a deep breath. It just the smell of the mountains,
Mhm.
and that reminds me of vacation.
Yep.
So, I would encourage our listeners, if you have a scent or a memory about scent, we'd love to hear what it is so we can share it with others. So send
Mhm.
us an email at the sentimentaltwistpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to move on now to Porch Talk, which is one of Brittany's
Speed round.
favorite speed round. We fire off quick questions and share even quicker answers and let you get a peek behind the screen door of who we really are.
Mhm.
Okay, so I always ask Brittany the questions first.
Okay.
All right, pumpkin spice latte, love it or leave it?
Leave it. I used to love it. I mean, I used to like it okay, but, like, I even bought the creamer recently, and I was like, I don't know." I usually opt for the other, like, seasonal coffee drinks in whether it be Starbucks or a local coffee shop. The one Starbucks has right now is the pecan crunch oat milk latte. That's
Ooh,
fantastic. But I like pumpkin bread and pumpkin spice, but I don't know, the latte is just not my cup of tea anymore.
okay,
But chai is what I would opt for in the fall, typically.
okay. And you usually get that as what, tea, or you
I
get
get
it?
a dirty chai or a chai latte.
Ooh, what's a dirty chai?
It's got espresso in it, so it's a coffee drink with chai.
Interesting. So a
Mhm.
dirty chai, if I ordered that, I would get coffee with a shot of espresso and chai syrup.
Mhm. It would be well, it would be it's basically a chai latte, but with coffee in it as well.
Interesting. Okay,
Mhm.
you've given me some ideas because I'm kind of boring when it comes to this time of the year. I usually just get pumpkin spice latte, and then at Christmas, as soon as it hits after Thanksgiving, is I'll start getting peppermint hot cocoa.
Mm, yum.
Fall candle scent. Favorite fall candle scent.
Bath& and Body Works Leaves, which is funny now because now I know
It's
leaves is
rotting leaves.
is funny. But it's they call it leaves, but I think the notes are, apple. Shoot, I looked it up recently because I ordered it, but
You need to
it's
look it
not.
up.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think it's apple. Mm,
It's Bath and Body Works leaves candle.
mhm. It's really good. And I know it's probably not clean. Laura would admonish me.
Well, um, we do what we have to do.
Mhm.
All right, let's see what it says.
Cedar wood, apple, maybe.
It's crisp apple. You're right about that. Oh, I hear a birdie outside.
Mhm.
Um, golden nectar and clove.
Oh, clove, that was it.
Yeah,
So,
I bet that smells nice. I'm not
it
a
does.
real big apple scented person, although
Mhm.
I did make a French apple tart recently and it made my house smell like
Mm.
fall. It was so good. And I shared it on my Instagram if people
Okay.
like apples. I'm not a big apple pie kind of person, but Mr. Twist likes it, and he loved it. And it was just I will definitely keep that recipe in my recipe box.
Mm.
Okay, cozy sweater or chic boots.
I'm gonna go sweater because I have trouble with boots being so short, but I love a good ankle boot, but sweater.
Do you have a sweater that every year you just love to put on?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just a traditional, like, cable knit, super worn in, oversized,
Mm.
I don't even wear it out of the house anymore because it's so raggedy, but it's just my around the house sweater.
Is that what you put on when it gets cold out when you get home from work?
Mhm.
Yeah, I just love to put on a
Leggings.
good pair of leggings or
Mhm.
soft sweatpants
Mhm.
and a sweater. I
Mhm.
bought a sweater from Amazon. It's not particularly soft, but it's a cable knit
Uh-huh.
cardigan. I kind of like a grandfather cardigan,
Mhm. Mhm.
has kind of the little buttons that look like leather, but they're not.
Cute.
And I keep that on the back of the chair in my bathroom.
Mhm.
And when I get up to, like, go take the dog out or I just get chilled, I'll just put it
Mhm.
over my pajamas, and it's
Mhm.
just so cozy, but I love
Mhm.
cozy.
Yeah.
Okay, apple cider or hot chocolate?
Apple cider. I love a spiced cider. I love a spiced.
Do you keep it in your refrigerator? Do you like, at this time of year, do you start buying cider
I actually have a half gallon in my fridge right now.
and do you drink it cold, hot, both
I
ways?
like it hot, but I will drink it cold if I am on it, if it's warm outside. But I do like it hot, and I also like to mix in some of the cider packets with it to make it even more spiced, you know?
Okay.
So.
You know what I love to do with my hot cider is put Red Hots in it.
Mhm.
My mother used to make a Red Hot cider for holidays.
Yep, we did too.
Did
We called
you?
it wassail, but it's not really
Yeah.
wassail.
No. Okay, it's corn maze or a hayride?
Okay, this one's fun. Hayride, and because okay, I've told y'all about the little country church I grew up in. It's out in the middle of the country on a dirt road. There are no ambient lights. There's like one little light pole in the churchyard. But we had a fall festival every year. They still do, and I'll still try to go because the kids still go to church there. And we would have this like talent show on the on a flatbed trailer that we would make the stage with the hay, and then after all the festivities, we would do a hayride, and the flatbed trailer would turn into the hayride. And it's dark. There's no street lights. We're in the middle of the country on these dirt roads by all these old cemeteries. And we'd go on a hayride, and it was church, but it felt spooky. Like it was a spooky, and it was that crispness in the air. We'd be wrapped up
Ooh.
on the hayride. It's just one of those like core memories, and there's this feeling in my body in moments like that when it's cold and you're out in the open and it's dark. I don't know, there's this feeling. And every now and then something will trigger that same sensation, and it takes me to the hayrides at the church that I grew up in. So I love a hayride
Yeah, and it
for
probably
that
makes you
reason.
feel safe
Mhm.
and, just comforted by that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, your turn.
Yeah, it's my
You
turn.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Pumpkin spice latte, love it or leave it.
Oh, love it because,
Love it.
it comes out usually the week of my birthday. My birthday was at
Um,
the end of August, and so usually they launch the PSLs, like, August 25th or
mhm,
26th. So I always celebrate my birthday with pumpkin spice latte. I will
mm,
say that I only ask for 1 pump because it's a little
mhm.
sweet,
It is.
and I have found, the Starbucks pumpkin spice creamer. I got it at
Okay.
Walmart. I love it. I only
Okay.
put, like, a little splash in there,
Mm,
and then coffee International Coffee makes a
mhm.
cold foam that's pumpkin spice, and I put a
Mhm.
little bit on top of that and put a little dash of cinnamon, and it's
Okay.
got just the right amount of sweet.
Okay.
And
I might would do that.
unfortunately, Mr. Twist learned what I was putting in my coffee, and so my creamer disappeared very quickly, and so now I've gotta go get some more. Oh, look at you drinking with your mug. I
It's
need
my
to get
Franciscan apple. These are my granny's.
s
I'm still sipping coffee today.
my old, well, I guess I can't believe she's 80 now, but she in high school was my drill team coach.
Mhm.
And she told me that she has Franciscan apple dishes that were her mother's that I could have. I just had to
Oh.
go over to her house. Did you know that they have lead in them?
Some do. Yeah. I double check. I tested the mugs before I started using them.
And how did you test it?
A little Amazon kit for lead testing.
'Cause
Mhm.
someone commented about something I posted not too long ago, and they were like, "Girl, you're eating off lead plates." And I thought, no, I'm not. And then I Googled it, and it was like,
Mhm.
you know, it's very likely that you are. So I guess I need to test on mine.
Well, and here's my thought process. My family members ate off of those plates all of their lives, and they all lived to 80s and 90s. So,
Yeah, and for as little as our food sits on a plate
yeah.
before we eat it, yeah, I'm not real worried about
And I
it.
think it's only like super risky if it's been compromised, like the glaze, more,
It's cracked.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think there's more pollutants in the air that we breathe in our lungs than probably what we Okay, we digress. What's
all right.
next?
Yes, we always do. That's fun though. All right. Favorite fall candle scent.
Again, I'm like a pumpkin chai.
Mm,
Nest has a pumpkin
oh, yeah.
chai.
That's a good one. It's a really good
Um,
candle.
I'm not a big apple person. I like cinnamon,
Mm-hmm.
sugar cookie,
Mm-hmm.
Christmas cookie. Any of
Mm-hmm.
I'm more about a false, and I do love a good Christmas Fraser fir candle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll switch over to that when December hits, and we'll smell that.
Okay. Cozy sweater or chic boots.
I'm a boot girl.
Mm-hmm.
I have all different kinds of boots. I just love to put on boots and jeans and a sweater. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
probably both cozy sweater and boots. But if I had
Yeah.
a choice, it would be this time of year getting the boots out.
Mm-hmm. And I prefer I hate closed-toed shoes.
Yeah, I wear tennis shoes so much these days that I guess I don't really notice the difference
Mhm.
of wearing boots.
Okay. Apple cider or hot chocolate?
Again, because 'cause I'm not a big apple
Apple.
person,
Mhm.
I'm probably more hot chocolate.
Mhm.
Although I don't like the calories in the hot chocolate, but
I like to say it's, protein and fat.
yeah,
Mhm.
I know there's some good for you hot chocolate mixes out there, and for as little as I'm drinking it,
Mhm.
it's just not something that I'm just, like, go to all the time, but I
Right.
do like to put schnapps or peppermint syrup in my hot
Mhm.
chocolate, have a
Mhm.
little peppermint.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, corn maze or hayride?
I'm gonna go out there and say neither. I'm more of a pumpkin patch kinda gal.
Yeah.
Like, go and get the pumpkin and buy
Mhm.
all the mums and, I mean, I love a good hayride, but it's not I think I'm more about, like, let's go and get the pumpkins that we can decorate the front
Mhm.
porch with.
Yeah. And I'm sad, my favorite little pumpkin patch that was in my neighborhood church at my neighborhood church, it was always October. They didn't do it this year, and I could just walk
Oh,
and get my pumpkins and take my little cart and ride them home, but
oh, shoot, I wonder why they couldn't get a hold of the
I
pumpkins
don't
to
know.
send them.
They usually do it the whole month of October, and I think they had a lot left over last year, so maybe that was
Yeah.
kind of the decision, so
When we were standing in line for the baked goods last week, it was in the Flower Mound Square, I guess, and they had started a pumpkin patch. And there was a man behind us. He was a young man, and he was getting ready. His wife was expecting a baby girl that was going to be born in January. And he was talking about how excited he was to be able to experience all those different things you do during the seasons, taking her
that's
to go and pick out a pumpkin. And so that was fun.
that's so sweet.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Alright.
that was fun.
That was fun.
Now we're going to move on to listener submissions. So at the end of last season, we invited our listeners to send us their favorite food and celebration memory surrounding food, and
Mhm.
that we would read through them and that we would celebrate one person to receive 3 handwritten recipes from each of us
Mhm.
mailed to their address. So we wanted to share with you some of the examples of the ones that we got, and then we'll share with you who the winner is. So do you want me to start out with reading the first?
Sure.
Okay. So this one is from Kim, who lives in Austin, and she says,
Mhm.
I was born on the 4th of July, and every year the whole family would come over for my birthday. We'd have cake and ice cream and enjoy each other's company and close out the night with neighborhood fireworks. The cake was always my favorite, and the most important part, since it was the 4th, is it always had a red, white, and blue theme with giant buttercream roses. Oh, I'm a buttercream
Mm.
roses girl too. I grew up in New Orleans, and my mother would order my cake in advance from a local French bakery. Their cakes were so good. Well, for my 60th birthday, my mother ordered the cake, and since I could now drive, she sent me to the bakery to pick it up. I was very shy, and when doing so myself was a challenge, but determined to get the cake, I made the drive. When I arrived, I took a number and waited for it to be called. It was a holiday after all, and they were closing early, so everyone was there to pick up their orders. When it finally was my turn, the girl looked and couldn't find my name on anything. I started to sweat. She got her manager, and it turned out they didn't make my cake.
Oh,
They
no.
messed up the order, and somehow they didn't even make it. This was before cell phones, so I had to go back and call my mother from their phone. My mother was livid. She got the manager on the phone and said that my daughter only cares about this cake on her birthday, and we had a house full of people coming over, and you've got to make it right. I could tell they just felt awful. So they gave me 2 giant boxes and said, pick out what you want from the pastry cases and fill the boxes as much as you can. It was so fun. I got 2 of everything from pedophores to croissants. This sounds like my kind of birthday.
I know.
And lemon tarts to pies. I was in dessert bliss. When I got home, we put out all the desserts on platters on the table, and it ended up being a really fun way to sample and enjoy the desserts. And then later that day, we got a knock on the door. They felt so bad about not having my birthday cake. Someone stayed late and made one for me with all red, white, and blue frosted pomp and circumstance you might expect from Marie Antoinette. We ate cake. Thanks, and looking forward to hearing all the stories you collect. Isn't that the cutest?
That's so cute.
I just love that story.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I'm going to read from Amber, and Amber and I are buddies on Instagram, so this is fun that I get to read hers. Okay, she said, "This one is hard because I have so many. My paternal grandmother managed some of the biggest restaurants in Jackson, Mississippi in the 50s and 60s. Everything was fancy to her. I loved to cook with her. She had a chair that was also a stool, and I would stand on it and help her cook from a very young age. My other grandmother was just an amazing cook. She would cook our family of close to 20 and make it look effortless. I never remember helping her, but I do remember my mom and my aunt helping her. My favorite memory would be making dressing. I have that same memory.
Yeah.
We always had dressing at Thanksgiving and Christmas. I remember helping my mom and both grandmothers make their version of Southern cornbread dressing. It's so appropriate that I'm reading Embers because we did the same thing. Whomever I was helping, it was basically the same recipe. The thing about dressing in the South is that the women do not write the recipes down. I can attest to this. I remember asking about a recipe, and everyone is like, no, it's just a taste. All three women would have their own version of a big metal bowl they would use to mix the ingredients in with a wooden spoon. Same. I now have my Mama Ella's bowl. I have my Granny Ella's pan. After I got married, I became the dressing maker. One of my favorite things now about holidays is making dressing. Every time I make it, I am transformed into being 5 years old and sitting in my grandmother's kitchen and helping them make dressing. Thanks for bringing that memory back today, Amber."
And, again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. It's all about the scents, like the
Mm-hmm.
sage and the poultry seasoning and the
Mm-hmm.
smell of the buttery cornbread. I mean, I wish they could make a Thanksgiving candle that smelled, maybe that's their
Mm.
thing, that smells like Thanksgiving food.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that would be hard.
Sweet potatoes, cornbread dressing,
Mm-hmm.
turkey, a little
Cranberry, touch of
cranberry.
cranberry.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
queen, can you make this?
Potato.
Yes. I just made, and if
Hmm.
you like casseroles, I'll send this to you. It was a Thanksgiving chicken casserole.
Oh.
Oh my God. I have a friend, Laurie, who just had knee surgery. So she was really kind and loving to me when I had my knee surgery last year. She brought me dinner several times. So when she had hers, I said, please let me bring you something. So I made this chicken dressing Thanksgiving casserole. It tasted just like Thanksgiving in a casserole
Mm.
dish. It was chicken with stuffing mix
Mm.
and Parmesan cheese, which is kind of unique. You don't really
Mm-hmm.
think of Parmesan cheese for Thanksgiving. And then it had broccoli and it had golden mushroom soup and cream of chicken soup.
Mm.
And I think I would take it a step further and maybe put crushed up Ritz crackers mixed in butter
Mm.
to get that little crust on the
Crust on the
top.
top. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think we have any left. And I made a huge 9 by 13. I took enough for her and her son to have some with each got a baked sweet potato and then rolls. And then I made the French apple tart and that was their dessert.
Mm.
My mouth is watering just
I
thinking.
know, mine too. And
Yeah.
I really didn't eat lunch yet.
So I will send you that recipe. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to read the winner
Yes, it's
that
so
we picked.
sweet.
We're so excited about this. And it's Rhonda Dees, I think is her last name. Let me look here. Rhonda Dees. And I don't know where Rhonda lives. I do know, but I don't know. I know we contacted her to let her know she was the recipient and to be
Oh
sure
yeah, I have
to
her
listen
address.
to the podcast. So you look up where she's from and then I'm going to go ahead and read it. So,
Okay.
hi everyone, I'm loving your podcast. Reflecting on my food related memories, I'm surprised that my favorite one isn't actually tied to the big show meals like major holiday get togethers, which I've always loved. But this is just so
Just
precious.
precious.
But rather my daddy's scrambled egg sandwiches. As a teenager, returning it home at night from being out on dates, no matter how late it was, my daddy would make a simple scrambled egg sandwich for me and we would sit at the table and he'd want to know all about my date and if I had fun, and it was the sweetest. This was a fun topic for a memory prompt. Thank you, love, Rhonda. Isn't that the
That's so It
sweetest?
makes me tear up every time we read it.
No, when I let her know that we picked her, she said, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate hearing from you right now because her daddy is really, really sick in the
Oh,
hospital and she's having to take care of him. And she said that he would be so tickled to know that that
so sweet.
memory of them spending time together, a daddy and his sweet little daughter,
Mhm.
I mean, so we just decided that all your stories were fantastic, and we thank you so much for sending us your submissions. We got several, too many to be able to read in one
Mhm.
episode, but you know, we just loved all of them, but Rhonda's especially, tugged at our
Touched our
heartstrings.
hearts.
Yeah. So,
So Rhonda is from Round Rock.
Round Rock, so she's here in
Mhm.
Texas.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. All right, well, now we're coming to the end of our show. Time
Yeah.
goes by fast when you're having fun, and
It really
Brittany's gonna
does.
close it out for us.
Yes, so we close the show every week with a toast to sentiment where we share a sentimental quote or a story or a poem and end with a toast to sentiment. And so I am going to share one of my favorite quotes about fall. It's F. Scott Fitzgerald. You probably know where
Mm.
this is going. Life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall. And for me, that means even more because my birthday is in the fall and it always feels like a fresh start. And I love the fall festivities and I love planning for the new year. This is when I start thinking about planning for the new year. And so it feels like a fresh start in the fall. And now we know everything's dying and that's why it smells so good. Um, it's, it's like the circle of life, if you will.
Yes, it's like
So I wanted to share that quote. I know it's shared a lot on social media this time of year, but it has always meant so much to me, especially because my birthday's in the fall and I use birthday as sort of a reset um, for my life and where I am and what I want to accomplish in the next year of living. And so life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall, which is the best feeling ever when you walk outside that first morning when it's like crisp in the air. And I don't know, it's my
yeah.
favorite.
I don't know about where you are in Alabama, but I know when I'm gonna take Hazel, my dog, out in the morning, it's not that crispness yet, but you can tell it's coming.
Hmm.
The
We've
mornings are
had a few crisp days,
yeah,
but that's sort of fake fall, I guess. But we have humidity because it's starting to storm a little bit and rain a little bit, which we need desperately. But yes, when I wake up in the morning and my AC has cycled off, like that's a miracle. So,
yeah.
um,
I just that first for me, I love rain. So that
mhm,
first crisp day that we have where it's raining outside
mhm.
and I know I'm gonna make soup for dinner
Yes.
or, pancakes or waffles for dinner,
Yeah.
and I crank on my fireplace in the living room, and I
Mm,
just, sit there while I'm cooking and I look at the fireplace and, oh, just all the things.
yeah.
And I don't really I mean, I think, like, maybe early summer, I might kinda get that same thrill from firing up the grill, but
Mhm.
nothing like fall. Nothing
Yeah.
like fall.
And I think it is that feeling of, I mean, I don't know if it's nature and we just reflect that like things are like the cycle is ending and new life is coming. Like we feel that anticipation of Christmas and the anticipation of all the fun that's coming. And this time of year just kind of triggers all of that. I
Yeah,
don't know. There's just something about fall. And I think most people or a lot of people really feel that way about fall. Like it is such a
yeah.
good, and maybe it's just because we've suffered so much through heat the last 2 months.
Yes,
But
and we're ready for a
um,
little relief and
yeah.
all the fun things that come from that.
So that's my toast. So let's toast to the
Cheers to
beginning of
you.
fall.
Cheers. I don't ha all I have is my protein drink, but I'll click your cute little autumn, apple, china. So want to encourage people to follow the podcast. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube on both of our YouTube channels.
Mhm.
Share it with a friend who loves meaningful spaces. And then you can find me on Home with a Twist on Instagram and YouTube, and then homewithatwist.com on my website. Brittany,
Mhm. Brittany Shepherd on Instagram, the Sentimental Decorator website, and Brittany Shepherd TSD on YouTube.
and be sure to send us your favorite fall memories. We'll do another contest again probably
Mm.
this fall with something that we can share with you. Maybe a vendor will is listening and would like to gift one of our listeners with a little something
Fall happy.
seasonal. Yeah.
Mhm.
So be sure to send us an email at the Sentimental Twist Podcast at gmail.com. Anything about sentimental style, something that really evoked memories for you today, a sweet memory you want to share. if you need suggestions on decorating for the holidays, whatever, just let us know. So, thanks for joining us on the Sentimental Twist today.
Where we believe every space tells a story.
And every story deserves a place at the table. Until next time.
Keep things cozy, collected, and a little bit sentimental.
Bye,
y'all.
everybody.
We're so glad to be back. See you next week.